and welcome to ONYX Pages. My name is Injeri and thank you very much for watching this channel. So I'm really excited because today I'm going to be introducing a new reading challenge to BookTube, and I want to tell you all about it, and I also want to invite you to participate. So this is the Kwanzaa reading challenge, and it runs throughout the month of December because Kwanzaa runs from December 26th to January 1st. And for those of you who don't know, Kwanzaa is a cultural celebration. It's an African American tradition that encourages us during the holiday season to think about 7 specific principles. So the reading challenge asks you not to read anything new, so please don't feel anxious about that. All I'm asking you to do as a part of the challenge is to see how many of the 7 Kwanzaa principles you can find in books that are already on your TBR. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through the 7 principles of Kwanzaa and give you an example of how you can identify them in books that you're reading by showing you how they show up in books that I have. So the first principle is Umoja, which is unity. And unity shows up in The New Moon's Arms by Nalo Hopkinson because this tells the story of Calamity, who starts a very interesting magical relationship. And as a result of that, she has to come into her own, reconcile her own homophobia. And because of the kind of relationship she is in this small Caribbean town, we have to deal with what others think about this relationship. And so Nalo Hopkinson, who's my favorite author, gets us to think about homophobia, classism, racism, sexism, and so many other isms as they show up in the Caribbean and also in all of our communities. And so unity is showing up in The New Moon's Arms. The second principle is Kujichagulia, which is self-determination. And for that, I'm choosing a coloring book by Janine Carrington, and this is a supernatural coloring book. And each page of the coloring book has an amazing superhero with natural hair. So this is Persistence, and then we've got Silence, because sometimes you just gotta sip tea, let me tell you. And then we've got Focus, which I have done the pleasure of coloring in, and Confidence. It's handled. So this represents self-determination. The next principle is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. For that, I've chosen Octavia Butler's Lilith's Brood. Lilith's Brood is a trilogy made up of Dawn, Adulthood Rights, and Imago, and the main protagonist is a black woman named Lilith. Lilith wakes up one day in this really strange pod and realizes that she is one of a small community of humans that has survived the end of the world and at the same time has survived an alien invasion. Lilith is the one who's chosen by the aliens to try and create some kind of collaboration, which is a really generous way to explain this very violent relationship between the alien race and the human race and the sub-races. And so this is definitely an example of collective work and responsibility as Lilith tries to figure out what is to be done with this situation. We've also got the principle of Ujamaa. Ujamaa is cooperative economics, and as an example of cooperative economics not actually having to be about money, I've chosen Akata Witch. And Akata Witch is one of what I believe is a trilogy written by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a YA novel that weaves in fantasy and magical realism and is absolutely amazing. But the thing that gets me as it relates to cooperative economics is the fact that there's this new currency that gets introduced into this world. And in this world, in this magical world, you earn more of this currency every time you learn something new. So if you encourage somebody to learn something new, they get a little bit of that currency, and you might get a little bit of that currency if you learn something new as well, which is a really interesting alternative to thinking about money and using other people's labor to get that money. The next one is purpose, Nia. So that principle is represented, in my view, really well by Tananarive Dua's Blood Colony, because here the main protagonist is superhuman in so many ways, and she's got to decide whether or not she's going to follow her own purpose or she's going to follow the purpose that's imposed upon her by this community that she is a part of. She's kind of like a messiah in a way, and that definitely gets us to the question of purpose. The next principle is Kuumba, which is creativity, and I've chosen 2 books to represent Kuumba. The first is written by Mia Mackenzie, which is The Summer We Got Free. And in The Summer We Got Free, Mia Mackenzie gets us to think about creativity as magic. She asks us what red tastes like. She gives us this beautiful image of a painting that deeply draws people in a very visceral kind of way. You can even see that on the cover we've got this girl holding a paintbrush and red paint dripping onto the floor. This is an amazing, delicious read by Mia Mackenzie, and if you haven't picked it up, I really encourage you to do so. And it's also got the most amazing flirtation that I've ever seen depicted in words, so you need to read that. So there's that for creativity. And the other book that I have for creativity is actually a children's book, which I think you should buy because it's written by the amazing Nadia L. Han out of Toronto. And this is the first of the books in the Malika series, and this is Malika's costume. And one of the things that I love about this book is that it takes us into this world where a little girl is trying to figure out how to celebrate in Carnival in a way that's authentic to her. And so we've got this little girl over here, and we've got this beautiful peacock, and it's just a really sweet, lovely tale about being young, being from the Caribbean, living in North America, being separated from some of your family, trying to live your culture as a little girl, and it's amazing. And so now we've got Malika's costume, but we also have Malika's Winter Carnival as well that has just come out, so you should check out those books as well. And then the final principle is Imani, which is faith. And to represent that, we have none other than N.K. Jemisin, and this is the Broken Earth trilogy. There are so many things to say about this trilogy. I'm still breathless from it. I have not even reviewed any of the books as yet, I don't believe. But at the core of this, actually I can't even claim that. One of the plots in this trilogy is the fact that there is a mother who is trying to find her daughter and try to reconnect with her daughter. And in doing so, she realizes that the very things that she tried to teach her daughter in order to keep her daughter safe created moments of harm in their relationship. And so that is definitely a theme that's pretty close to being universal, I think. But it's the faith in the mother-daughter relationship, the faith in community, the faith in magic that links this trilogy to the principle of Imani. So that is it. You don't need to practice Kwanzaa to participate. You don't need to even believe in Kwanzaa in order to participate. So all you need to do in order to participate in this challenge is find one or more of the 7 Kwanzaa principles and connect them to books that you're already reading. I am not going to be doing this alone. There are 4 other amazing people who are joining in the challenge so far. So we've got Alicia from Pretty Brown Eye Reader. We have Charles from Sirbooksage. We've got Bree Hill from the channel known as Bree Hill. And we also have a new Goodreads friend of mine named Venetia, who is in the process of starting her own BookTube challenge. So we're waiting for you, girl. Get on that. We want to see you. And anybody else who's interested in sort of inserting a little reflection into the holiday season and your holiday reading, I would invite you to participate and certainly tag all of the participants in the Kwanzaa Reading Challenge so that we can watch each other's videos and we can support each other. So whatever you are doing this December, I wish you a wonderful holiday season. If you are not celebrating anything, but you're just taking some relaxation, if you can afford that, I do wish you a restful December. So thank you very much for watching this video and supporting ONYX Pages. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, and please like or comment this video. I will be including way more descriptions about the principles in the description box, and if there are any questions that come up in the comments, I will answer them or put them in the description box. Okay, thanks. Bye.